Okay, so tonight we're going to be filming a 1500 point battle report featuring the new Craftworld Eldar Codex. And tonight their opponent's going to be a very proxied version of the White Scars. So first let's go over the Eldar Craftworlds army here. We 1500 points. We're using the Craftworld Warhost detachment. We're going to be using a Guardian Battle Host. It's going to have 3 squads of 10 Guardians, and they're each going to be in Wave Serpents. Then we have a Farseer on a Skyrunner, along with 4 Warlock Skyrunners. Then we have a Viper, just stock. The Warwalker there has a Scatter Laser and a Bright Lance. And then we have the 2 Vols Wraith support batteries with the D cannons on them. And then in the auxiliary, we have a Wraith Knight with 2 heavy Wraith cannons on him. And that's 1500 points of Eldar. And the opponent tonight, again, a very proxied version of White Scars. We wanted to give these guys a test. White Scars are known as one of the more tough armies in the game, so we wanted to give Eldar kind of a good test on the battlefield. So we'll go over the list here. We have a 5-man tactical squad with a melt-a-gun, and then the sergeant has a plasma pistol, and they're going to be riding in a Rhino. Then we have a 5-man bike squad there with 2 grav guns and a combi grav on the sergeant. And that guy with the pop in the wheelie there is going to be Khan. So he gives all the bikes and all the troops in dedicated transport scout. So that's a pretty big deal. And then over here, these Raven Guard here are going to be subbing in as White Scars bikers today. With 2 grav guns and a combi grav on the sergeant. Back here we have a squad of 5 Stern Guard veterans with combi meltas. They'll be riding along in that drop pod. And then we're completely proxying a unit back here. These Terminators are not actually Terminators. They are Grav Centurion Devastators with grav cannons and grav amps, and along with them will be a Mastery Level 2 Librarian. And then, of course, here we have the Warhound Titan. No, not really. He is actually what he's supposed to be in. Imperial Knight, the Battle Cannon, and the Reaper Chainsword in the new Oathsworn detachment. So should be a pretty good game. Should be a pretty interesting battle, so we'll get back at the start of deployment and turn 1. Okay, so here we are at deployment, about to start turn 1. The mission that we rolled was Cleanse and Control, Maelstrom mission. It's a Vanguard Strike deployment. White Scars won the roll to pick table corners and to go first. And Eldar did not seize the initiative. So here's how the deployment looks. Over here we have the Centurion Gravs with the Librarian standing beside the Imperial Knight. Squad of bikes that scouted up. The Rhino with the 5 Tac Marines that scouted up. And then we have the bikes here that scouted up, along with Khan, trying to put some pressure on that flank. The Librarian got some really good rolls for psychic powers. Well, one really good roll, obviously, rolled on telepathy and managed to get invisibility, which will be a huge bonus in this game, along with hallucination and, of course, psychic shriek. Over here, the Eldar really kind of tried to counter-deploy. Use that line of sight blocking terrain as a major advantage. And trying to avoid that huge alpha strike from the White Scars. So back here, 2 of the Wave Serpents with Guardians, the Warwalker, the Wraith Knight, Viper, and then the Vols Wraith Battery back there behind that, in that corner. And then out here, another Wave Serpent with Guardians, along with the Seer Council hugging the edge there. So, psychic powers for the Farseer were pretty good. Ended up getting Psychic Shriek and Guide, as well as Fortune. Over here, the Warlocks ended up getting Embolden Horrify, Destructor Renewer, and of course Conceal Reveal, since they are Mastery Level 2. So, again, Eldar attempted to seize and did not, so we're going to come back at the bottom of turn 1. The White Scars have a drop pod with Stern Guard with Combi Meltas coming in. I'm going to see where they go and what kind of damage they can do along with these bikes. So we'll be back at the end of White Scars turn 1. Okay, so here we are at the end of White Scars turn 1. Really good turn for the White Scars. These bikes here moved up with Khan, those bikes moved up, the Knight moved up, and the Centurions moved up 6. The Stern Guard squad came down here, decided to fire in the 2-up poison rounds into the Warlock Council, killed a couple. The Librarian cast Invisibility onto the Knight successfully. The Knight dropped 2 Strength 8 blasts on the edge of the Wave Serpent, which hit the Wave Serpent once and then scattered into the Warlocks. Putting 2 wounds on the Warlocks, failed their cover saves. So the Warlocks are dead in the Seer Council, thanks to some pretty terrible rolling from the Eldar, which nets 4 victory points this turn. Scored Secure Objective 6, which the Knight is presently scoring. Secure Objective 2, which the Stern Guard came down and scored that one. And then Witch Hunter, kill an enemy unit with a Psyker, Brotherhood of Psyker Special Rule, or Psychic Pilot. So obviously killed the Warlock Council, which is part of the reason why they came down and targeted them as opposed to a Wave Serpent or something back here. And then, of course, First Blood. So that's it. White Scars jump out on turn 1 to a 4-0 lead. We'll see what the Eldar can do in retaliation on turn 1. Obviously, the Invisible Wraith Knight's going to be an issue, and these Grav Centurions that are just going to slowly make their way across the board to get in range. Since the Wave Serpent there had jinked last turn, from all the grav gun shots coming at it along with the Imperial Knight. So it'll be snap firing. So we'll see what happens at the bottom of Eldar turn 1. Okay, so here we are at the bottom of Eldar turn 1. Ended up being a pretty good turn for the Eldar, just about as good as it possibly really could have been. Basically, this Wave Serpent here moved up, dropped off those Guardians. Farseer moved over and turbo boosted over there. Wraith Knight jumped out to engage the Stern Guards there, and the Viper moved around the corner to try and pop some shots into the bikes that were there. And the Wave Serpent here and the War Walker just moved around. That Wave Serpent moved around the building and then ended up moving flat out. The objectives for Eldar this turn were Ascendancy, Scour the Skies, and Secure Objective 6. Obviously, the Knight is sitting on 6 right now. Ascendancy, however, was possible. So, in order to do that, we had to clear out those Stern Guard there, get something over to Objective 3, and then we turbo boosted to Farseer over on Objective 4. So, scored 2 points there. Based on that, now Psychic Phase, the Farseer tried Cast Guide here, tried to shriek the bike squad that was there, but they denied it. And that was... Oh, and he cast Fortune on himself. So, this Wave Serpent here, like I said, moved up, dumped the troops out, went ahead and popped the Serpent Shield as well as scatter lasers, and combined fire of the Guardians, killed 3 of the bikers here, including the Sergeant. So the 2 grav guns are left. They broke and ran back 9 inches. Over here, between the Vipers and the volleys of the Wave Serpent here, who also popped his Serpent Shield, the one in the back corner there, and that War Walker, killed 4 of the bikes in this squad and left Khan and 1 grav gun. They broke. Khan rolled boxcars for leadership. Fell back 12 inches. Over here, the Wraith Knight fired 1 heavy Wraith cannon into that Rhino, blowing it up. Well, it didn't blow it up, it wrecked it. guys got out and they're not pinned. And then he shot into the stern guard, didn't do anything, but then wiped them out in assault with combined might of the attacks and the stomp attack. He did take a wound on the Overwatch. They went ahead and popped Combi Melt as he charged in, so he is down 1 wound. Failed to feel no pain. So that's it. Pretty good turn. Got 2 bike squads on the move backwards, so that was pretty good. Got 2 grav guns left there and 1 grav gun in con here. But only scored 2 objectives, or 2 objective points. So right now White Scars are still in the lead going into turn 2. They still lead 4-2. So we'll be back at the end of White Scars turn 2. So here's a look at the board after White Scars turn 2. Khan and company regrouped and just kind of shifted over. Centurions moved up a little bit. The Knight pretty much stayed in place. The grab bikes there rallied and turbo boosted over to grab that objective because their objective secured. These Tac Marines moved up. Psychic Phase. Librarian attempted to cast invisibility on the Knight. Failed to get it off this turn. Melt-A-Gun shot into the Rhino, into the Wave Serpent. It jinked, so it avoided the hit there. The 15 grav cannons shot into the Wave Serpent here with all the hits, and with the grav amp got 3 6s, jinked 2 of them. However, it is immobilized. The Serpent Shield does not negate Graviton, because the wording in the codex says the Serpent Shield can drop a penetrating hit to a glance. The Graviton rule says it just suffers an immobilized result. It's not a penetrating hit, so it is immobilized at this point. Objective-wise, White Scars pulled secure objective 1, 2, and 4. So 2 is way over there. 1 is back here in this back corner. Couldn't really get to it effectively. However, they could get to 4, so just turbo boosted over there to grab 4. So presently the score, even though White Scars are not looking too hot right now, presently the score is 5-2 in favor of White Scars. So we'll come back at the end of Eldar turn 2 and see what retaliation they can strike upon the White Scars force here. So we'll be back at the end of Eldar turn 2. Alright, so here we are at the bottom of turn 2 for Eldar. Just a devastating turn. Really was a devastating turn. Basically, Wraith Knight moved up. Warwalker moved up. This Wave Serpent shifted. Guardians got back in that Wave Serpent, and it shifted over to get on side armor there of the Imperial Knight. The Farseer was in that ruin. So Psychic Phase, Farseer cast Psychic Shriek on those 2 bikes. They could not deny it, so they're dead. They did deny Fortune, however, so... and then in the shooting phase, the Farseer just kind of turbo boosted back behind this wall here. These Tactical Marines, the Guardians got out of the immobilized Wave Serpent, just butchered them with rending, and then what was left was killed by that Wave Serpent there, shooting into them. Probably the biggest thing that happened this turn was the Wraith Knight shot his heavy Wraith Cannon into the Imperial Knight, and rolled a 6 on the Destroyer table, causing it to lose d6 plus 6 hull points, no saves allowed, and it's just gone. Scattered, the catastrophic explosion just exploded in place, and nothing was within the 10 inches of it, so nothing was harmed by it, but it is dead on turn 2. The grab bikes are all dead except for this one over here and Khan. So at this present moment, basically, the White Scars have these Centurions and this Librarian, Khan, and this 1 grav gun left. still in the lead. Eldar did not score any tactical objective points this turn. Drew Witch Hunter, Secure Objective 6, and Hungry for Glory. So discarded Hungry for Glory. So at this point on turn 2, White Scars are still in the lead 5-2. But the Eldar are just about to finish them off. So we'll be back at the end of White Scars' turn 3 and see what they can do in retaliation, if anything. So, be back at the end of White Scars. Okay, so here we are at the end of White Scars turn 3. Objectives they pulled was secure 1, 2, and 3. Which 2 and 3 are over here on the opposite side. And can't really get to them. Objective 1's back here. Basically, the Centurions moved over, got invisibility cast on the squad. And then this Grav, Bike, and Con moved up. The combined firepower of all the Grav ended up killing the Wraith Knight, dropping him on turn 3. So the Wraith Knight is now dead, but these Centurions are invisible right now. So I'm going to go ahead and see what happens on Eldar turn 3. If White Scars can keep invisibility up, they might be able to hang on for the win. But right now things are looking grim. So we're going to see what happens in Eldar turn 3. Okay, so here we are at the end of Eldar turn 3. Basically, the Guardians got out of here, battle focused up, and those Guardians hopped out of the ruins, and then battle focused back after shooting, and then the combined shooting of all the Guardians ended up killing the last biker there and Con. So, Slay the Warlord has been achieved here. The Warwalker shot scatter lasers and bright lances into the drop pod, took 2 hull points off, so it's got 1. The Viper shot and the Wave Serpent shot, Snapfire, obviously, visibility on those guys, didn't do anything. So, at the end of Eldar turn 3, got supremacy, because presently the White Scars only have objective 6, and Eldar have 4, 3, and 5. So scored 2 points off that, plus Slay the Warlord right now has Eldar in the lead, or tied right now, 5-5 points wise. So we'll see what happens at the end of White Scars turn 4. Okay, so end of White Scars turn 4. Basically, they just moved up, shifted over, shot Hurricane Bolters into the Guardians, killed 3 of them. Guardians passed their leadership test. They did get invisibility off again. However, the Librarian periled and took a wound in the process, so did not score any points this turn, so the score is still 5-5. And Eldar turn 4 incoming. So we'll be back at the end of Eldar turn 4. Okay, so we're here at the end of Eldar turn 4. Basically, Guardians hopped out of that Wave Serpent, battle focused up, got Guide cast on them, got a lot of hits, managed to get 1 wound on a Centurion, even with Snapfire. And the combined forces of the Wave Serpent there, the Viper, and this Wave Serpent and those Guardians just put 1 wound on a guy because of the Snapfire. Over here, the Warwalker and the Wave Serpent shot into the drop pod, taking its last hull point off. So, the end of turn 4, Eldar scored Harness the Warp and Secure Objective 6. So, the score now presently is 7-5 in favor of Eldar. Looks like it's going to be a wrap, but we're going to play on out turn 5, just see how it goes. But this one looks like it's probably going to be a done deal soon. Okay, so here we are at the end of White Scars turn 5. Pretty unsubstantial turn, other than the fact that they did get invisibility off again, even with only 3 warp charges in the pool for them. Managed to get it off, couldn't deny it, and they fired Hurricane Bolters into the Guardians there and wiped them out. Not scoring any points though, so the score is still 75 as it stands right now. So be back at the end of Eldar turn 5. See if they can whittle these guys down some. Okay, so we're back at the end of the game. Turn 5. Roll the dice to end it. Eldar scored 3 more tactical objectives. Secure 4 twice and then secure 2. So move the War Walker over there. Basically shifted some stuff around. Everything snap firing again into the Centurions. Managed to strip a wound off of a guy there. So, but they were still there. So, but the game is over. So all White Scars had left was this invisible Centurion unit. And the end of the game score ends up being 11-5 victory for Eldar. So that's it. Got a chance to see what the White Scars, what a lot of grav could do against that Wraith Knight, but Wraith Knight did its course of damage before going down, murdering that Sternguard squad that popped out, and then, of course, blowing up the Imperial Knight. More than made its points up before going down to the grav shots. The Centurions with invisibility were extraordinarily difficult to deal with, obviously. Otherwise, this could have easily been a turn 3 or 4 tabling. But all in all, pretty impressive showing of the Guardian Battle Host detachment. And another good showing for the Eldar Craftworld Codex. Grav is still deadly. A good countermeasure for the Wraith Knight if you can get in range. Obviously, the idea here on turn 1 was to negate the amount of grav shots that would be coming into it. But to kill it on turn 3 is pretty good. So not bad at all. White Scars, always a tough opponent. Obviously, this list could have been a little better with some more grav bikes included. But all in all, Centurions, Imperial Knight, bunch of grav bikes, Khan for scout moves. It was pretty solid list. So yes, Eldar still sitting to me as the king of the crop right now. So that's it. Again, 11-5 victory for Eldar. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them below in the comments section there. And I hope you enjoyed the Batrep. See you next time.